in finding, I know you have a lot of talents, right? You're a creative person. Do you feel like, you found that evolution like in the insurance industry from a career standpoint?
I think so because I love what I do. And a lot of times I say this all the time in conversation with people. I never would have dreamed or never thought um I would be selling insurance. I went to school and got the degrees, the bells and whistles. I'm halfway finished with my PhD, but I stopped and I was like, I would like to finish it just for personal reasons, but I'm like, I make more money than I would with a PhD. So so I don't
Yeah,
care to take on any more student loans because it's expensive. And also, it's been a great life choice because the flexibility and the freedom of what
yeah,
it has given me and what it has done for my life and my family. So it's a great choice and I'm not changing it.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, just based on what I know of you, I think you made definitely the right choice. It's almost like you don't choose insurance, insurance chooses you, because the
Uh-huh.
opportunity, the opportunity will surface usually at the right time and place, in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if it's meant for you, you're gonna just, take that
Flourish.
moment and seize
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah, you know. And I always just find it to be so fascinating when we see that, because, and I ask that question to everybody I speak with. What did you want to be when you grow up? Because I know no one, grows up thinking, hey, I'm going to be in insurance. But when you grow up, and you become, an insurance professional,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're an agent or otherwise, and you get into this business, you may not start off with an innate passion for it initially,
Mm-hmm.
but it certainly is a passion that is developed, and you certainly, just find your purpose in it, because you can, help a lot of people. It's very lucrative financially, as you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned as well. I mean, many times people with advanced degrees, I mean, I would say, let's go down the line. Let's go down the line. A doctor, you make more than some doctors, about the same as a very, 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 high end surgeon. Maybe not plastic surgeon. I don't know. I don't know. Plastic surgeons, they might beat us,
Yeah,
but I
they
think
they they,
normal
they got us
surgeon.
beat. They got
Right.
us beat.
I think the plastic surgeon is gonna go top it, but for a medical doctor, definitely without malpractice insurance, which is very expensive. FBI agent, I know you got the. I think you got the FBI agents beat. I think we got them beat. Just although they have access to a lot more information than we do, shout out to the FBI agents who might be listening,
Yeah, I know. Like,
right, right. And let's see, for chefs, I mean, I don't know, Gordon Ramsay maybe, but I think
they
for
might have
most,
they might
maybe
have us
Emerald
beat.
or Gordon Ramsay, but
Yeah, if
but
you
for the
if you're one of
majority, I
those.
think we got it. Right,
Yeah, if
right.
you're one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you made a good decision, and most importantly, it's something that you enjoy and you love doing, and you have the opportunity to help a lot of people, and I know that you have,
Hmm.
helped a ton of people as well. Going back to, your childhood, um, you know, if you don't, I don't mind, if you don't mind me like speaking about it in an interview.
That's
I know
fine.
you were adopted, at a young age. You mentioned being, a bit of a nerd in high school. Do you feel like, your experience, um, do you feel like, those experiences help shape you not only into the woman that you've become, but also shape your approach to your career and your direction and how you approach your business?
Definitely. Like I said, my mother was a school teacher. She was a
Mm-hmm.
school teacher, then a principal, then a curriculum director. I didn't have a choice.
Right.
So, so my background and my upbringing, but I appreciate it because I had the mother that knew how important education was, how important having a strong work ethic was. So all of those things were the foundations that have gotten me to this point.
Yeah.
So, I look back on it, even though I thought she was mean at the time, I understand it and I can appreciate it now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Is there any lesson, sin, or story that you reflect on, when you're, let's say when you're early in your career? Obviously,
Hmm.
starting as an insurance agent, you stepping into scenarios. In most cases, it's 100% commission.
Hmm.
You eat what you kill. It's all about the hunt. You're going out trying to make it happen. Is there any
Uh-huh.
lesson from your childhood, or any story, or anything that you think about today or thought about then, that said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna keep going because of this?
Um, I just when you just my upbringing just with my parents, they worked really hard. Um, you know, my mom, she's Dr. McCormick. She has her PhD and everything. So I just had an excellent role model. And I
Yeah.
think a part of me was always wanting to make mom proud, always wanting to follow in her footsteps. Not necessarily the same career path, because I changed my mind on that one too. But but I mean, just wanting to. I think for most people, not all, for most people, just wanting to make your parents feel proud. That validation for your parent, like, good job, I'm so proud of you. So that was
Yeah.
a lot of it that just kept pushing me. And I know what my mom's work ethic was. So, it was all about do your best, excellence. That was the expectation. So the bar was set high.
Mm,
So if
yeah.
when that's all then that's what you do.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think
Hmm.
that's important, and to have that role model, to have that example, because it's one thing, to it's one thing to hear about someone who is really pushing hard, and there's a lot of stories about things like this, but to have somebody in the household who you're growing up with and you're seeing their example on a day-to-day basis,
Hmm.
it certainly is going to be a big, huge influence. So so now you're at a point now where you have had a great deal of success.
Hmm.
Even I want to talk about some of the heights that you've been at. The organization that you write with. You were at one point, the number one year, the number one producer in the country.
Hmm.
Coming from your beginning, what was that moment like for you in your career?
Um, it was motivating, and I think it solidified my confidence. And I say that in regards to because everybody has their strongholds or their issues that they deal with, whether they, make it known or they don't. Most people tend to keep that hidden unto themselves. And and I think I may have shared this with you before. I used to always feel like, that's everybody else. Everybody else, that could never be me. That's I'm okay, but I'm not that person. Even though, throughout my life, through a lot of different careers, I've helped a lot of other people, do things behind the scenes so that they were where they were in the spotlight or on top. And I think I just took on the feeling of, you know, I'm not good enough for that. And, definitely, God told me and showed me that I was.
Mm,
So it definitely was confident, built my confidence in a lot of ways, self-esteem in that regard. And it just keeps going.
yeah, yeah. Another, I think just a great point. Being at a place where you say, hey, that happens to everybody else, but not me. Here is a scenario where obviously you had to do the work. You had to make it happen,
Hmm.
but you know, the playing field was one where when you put that work in, the reward is what was reflected.
Definitely.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? It's like I had a thought the other day, and I shared the thought on my social media, which was, you know, the only thing we really have the ability to do is to make a choice, right? It's either going to be the right choice or it's going to be the wrong choice. And when we make that choice, if it's the right choice, we'll have a reward. If we make the wrong choice, we're going to have a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And in making those choices, we don't have control over, if we make that right choice, we don't have a control over what that reward is actually going to end up looking like, right? The only
Mm-hmm.
thing we can do is day to day make the best choices possible. And in your career, you made choices that led you down a road where that reward ended up being number one in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't even anticipating that initially, but this
Exactly.
is what the end
Exactly.
result ended up. This
Yeah.
is what the end result ended up being. I mean, obviously at a certain point you're like, okay, yeah, I got this. But starting off, you're like, oh,
I remember that.
maybe. but I think that's just amazing and just profound, to just go with that and to just believe in yourself, find that little extra something in yourself to keep pushing you up and keep pushing you forward.